All right. Hello, guys. New look here. Um, as you see, this is J and J in the evenings, and there is not a J in sight. No Josh, no Josiah. This is Tyler and Dominic over here.
Howdy, howdy.
Huge Mets fan. Guy is still reeling after he NLCS loss to the Dodgers, eventual world champions. But we're gonna talk some ball because we don't usually do that with Josh and Josiah. And baseball still does exist, and the heat stove is already starting to. They're starting to think about turning the stove on, start cooking.
Man, Travis Darno signed. I feel like it's official. It is live. We are hot.
Maybe that is like the warm zone on the back of the stove, where you just put something if you just need to keep it warm for a few minutes. I don't think any of the other like real burners are on, but I think maybe the warm zone is on with Travis Darno. People are thinking about making trades.
I don't know, man. Travis Darno turns into a Michael Conforto signing. Next thing you know, Juan Soto. Bam, done. I
Yeah,
think I think that's all it takes.
and next thing you know, Nolan Arenado's a Met. I mean, but we'll
Oh
save that
yeah, I
for
mean
later.
for sure. I did hear that he's on the trade block, so keeping my
Yeah,
fingers crossed. Everybody goes to the Mets.
yeah. I actually think that St. Louis is willing to give up partial ownership in Anheuser Busch to any team that takes on Goldschmidt and Arenado and pays more than half of their remaining salary. That's what I heard. Not sure.
I might be worth it at that point, man.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about Juan Soto, AL MVP finalist,
Future
and
Met.
26-year-old. He has. Let's just read off some stats in case there's a lot of wrestling subscribers and football subscribers. So, for anyone who is not familiar, he is 26 years old. He has played over 5 seasons in the MLB. He has a career 285 average. He has almost 600 RBIs. He has a career 421 on base percentage, a career 953 OPS, a 160 OPS plus in his career. I mean, if if you created a player on MLB Road to the Show and you were if you were playing in AAA and you were lighting it up, then he would still be beating your stats. I mean, let alone getting to the MLB in a video game on Road to the Show. You're not going to hit 285 with a 953 OPS. You're just not going to do it.
Modern day Ted Williams. I feel like that's the closest comp that you could possibly have is just modern day Ted Williams.
I mean, and to to do what he's done, to be traded twice, and just now that looks like Josiah. Josiah, you
Sorry, completely missed your message.
yeah, you're good.
Hijacking your pod, man.
Well, we're
Hey, hell
streaming.
yeah.
We're streaming, so you got to talk about Juan Soto now.
On Soto? Oh,
Yeah,
man, we're streaming. Okay, well, he's a great baseball player. I know he's probably going to land with like the Dodgers or the Mets or the Padres, one of those big market teams, but I would love to see him in an easier market, like go to Baltimore, go to Cincinnati. I know it's not going to happen, but it would be real nice to go to a small market team. If it's going to be anyone, I think it might be the Cardinals.
no, they're not. They're not going to
Yeah.
sign Juan
What a better
Soto.
way! What a better way to try to fix a broken franchise than by bringing in one of the best players,
Oh,
starting all.
like the Rockies did with Chris Bryant 3 years ago. Ask them how that worked out.
Not well at all.
How many home runs has he hit
Cardinals are
since
trying
then?
to ship off Arenado because they can't afford him at the moment.
Yeah, I saw Ryan. I heard Ryan Helsley is possibly on the trade block too.
Yeah, I think they're just going to have a fire sale. I don't know what they're going to. I don't know if they're trying to just rebuild or if they're just trying to get rid of the big money guys, but
Yeah.
definitely don't know that it would be the correct climate for a Juan Soto type.
Do you think they might
I'm
bring
just
back
saying,
like Shelby
I
Miller,
I,
Joe
I
Kelly?
hate I hate how it's going to be a big market team. I just hate it. It's the same with baseball. I was talking about this on our show a while back. How the sport is actually suffering from these big market teams taking over. We need to have some sort of like cap or a setting so every team's got a fair shot.
You want to elaborate on that one? Because I am actually, fun fact, a big believer of the exact opposite of that. So I just want to hear some thoughts.
Okay, well, how do you expect smaller market teams like Cincinnati, for example, to compete with the Dodgers when they don't want to spend as much money? If another
Team.
Dodgers won a World Series by buying it, baseball teams win it by buying it. If there was a certain set cap limit, every team's got an opportunity to spend the money they want to, restricted to, and makes it fair for everybody in the league. So you don't have to keep buying championships.
Can you name a single baseball team since like 1943 that didn't buy their win? They're every single team is out there spending money. So if you want to be competitive, you got to keep up with that. I get the idea of wanting to keep a cap.
Did the Cubs really buy their one win though against the Indians in 16?
I mean, they didn't have the bottom of the barrel roster. It wasn't like they're paying 16% of their income on players. It was definitely a lot higher. I feel like the big issue would be bringing in almost hundreds of millions of dollars and then refusing to spend half of that on your team, and just kind of as the owner pocketing that would be where the issue lies.
I showed him the chart.
You showed him the chart? Okay, because
yes.
I'm living and dying by that damn chart. That is all of what I'm about. Any team that's under 80% should just sell. I mean, that is inexcusable. I do feel that there should be a salary floor, but a cap until it's proven that a team becomes a dynasty. I don't know that it would be necessary, because it's not like basketball where you put the same guys out there and they're going to have the exact same results year after year. I know that's not the exact what happens, but baseball is a team where you put out those same 9 guys next year, one of them gets hurt. Now what?
Just look at
You're not going to have that. Literally anything can happen. Both teams that were in the World Series 2 years ago didn't even make the playoffs. So I think that's the big difference is, yeah, you can buy your players, but they gotta actually play, and they have to remain healthy and then be elite at that level for a whole 162 game season.
Okay, I can respect that. I can see especially how it's hard to stay at that health level for 162 games. Ask Mike Trout. But you do agree at least that there should be a floor. So what would be your
Absolutely.
ideal? Because you've got teams now that, like, I think Oakland's spending maybe $64 million, then the rest scraping 100. So what is your floor?
Honestly, I have never actually thought about a set floor, just because, like, what do you do if you set $100 million as your salary or your floor, and teams don't abide by it? Could you see the Oakland A's actually paying $100 million for their players right now?
Absolutely not, but it would make the team a little more competitive.
I definitely agree, but I just don't even
know. Small market teams would never defer contracts because they would want to hit that salary floor.
Yeah. Just start paying like Brent Rooker. I just immediately sign him and be like, all right, we're done now. But
Understand. All right. I was checking in for a mic check. Looks like since you guys are streaming, it's good to hop on real quick. Hope I was quick on my toes.
Anything else you want to say, Josiah? Anything about baseball?
The O's are going to win one the next 3 years. They got new ownership. He's not going to be afraid to spend, and you're going to see it this offseason. They got a great young roster, a lot of pipeline talent. Don't forget about the O's. That's pretty much my closing point.
I'm actually really excited about the O's with the new group. We haven't seen what they're willing to do financially. I'm very excited and hope that they would bring some sort of change to Baltimore, because that would be very refreshing.
Here's what's scary, though. The only change so far you're getting is the same with the football team. They can make the playoffs, but as soon as they get there, they choke. I mean, they look awful. I could not believe they couldn't put up any runs against the Royals in those couple games. It was incredible. I think it was, 1-0 and 2-1? Was that the two games? That's insane.
Yeah, I think they scored. Did they even score a run?
Not in one game.
There's either one or not.
Well, it was. Yeah, it was 1-0 and 2-1. You're right.
That is wild.
they were a crazy high-powered offense here throughout the 162 games. I mean, Gunnar was putting up 30 home runs, so was Tater Tot. I mean, Rushman had a setback year, but you had guys like Colton Cowser and Ryan Mountcastle step up. It was just disappointing, and you kind of got to blame the pitching. Like the year prior when they made the playoffs, I believe they gave up 14 walks in their first playoff game at home. It was insane.
Yeah.
So some straight to do, but I'm telling you, this owner's not going to be afraid to spend, and you're going to see it.
Although at the same time, if you told me you're going to play 2 games against a team and you're going to allow 3 total runs and give me no more details, I'm taking that every single time.
Yeah.
That is absurd. That is absurd to say you lost to that.
Yeah.
That's one thing about it's any given game. Seriously, any given game. You never know when you're going to be on and when you're going to be off. Look at the Yankees. They were on and then they were really off in the regular season. Then they got on again just to shit the bed again.
In all fairness to the Yankees, I'm gonna not defend them here, but I feel like you could have put. I think even the Brewers would have demolished the Yankees in a 7-game set. I think the AL was just not as strong as the NL was at all. So I don't know. I don't know if I've seen a bigger gap in team strength in many years past.
And it's only going to get stronger.
Dave Roberts said that the Dodgers were pretty much saying that whoever won the Dodgers-Padres NLDS was going to win the series.
As a Mets fan, I hate to admit that, but I was terrified of both. I was wanting the Dodgers because I was so scared of the Padres. I don't know if that's 2022 PTSD coming through, but I definitely didn't want to see them in the NLCS. But yeah, I fully agree with what he said there.
Yeah.
All right, boys. I'll let you get back to it. Thanks for having me. Awesome time.
All right. Later, Jay. All right. So that's Josiah. That's him and I worked at Burger King together in high school, and 10 years later, we're still going strong. We didn't talk. We weren't friends there for a long time, and then we kind of started talking more. And then he just invited me on his podcast one day last summer.
That's awesome.
They were talking about the AFC East and needed a Bills fan to come on and talk. Okay, so yeah, Juan Soto. I mean, if he goes to the Dodgers,
I will immediately then side with Josiah on the salary cap for no reason other than just sadness. But I feel like, yeah, so I've been researching that a lot, and I don't know if they're going to do anything other than just kind of get in the way and try and raise the salary. Just to try, like, be that guy on eBay he doesn't want the thing, but he's just going to make sure that the price goes way up for somebody else.
Yeah. That's a good comparison. When does the competitive balance or what was the lockout a couple years ago? What was that over? That was a ton
of minor league stuff. I remember being the big focal point, at least from what I looked at. I know there was other items, but the big thing I followed was the upgrade to the minors, their salary and everything.
So why not? For some reason, the competitive balance tax came to mind, but that's not the. Is it the
luxury tax?
No, I'm trying to think of the contract between the MLB and the MLBPA. What is that called? I'm trying to look up when it ends. When did that? Didn't they sign like a 3 or 4 year extension on the contract?
Yeah, it wasn't for another couple of years. I want to say 26 or 27.
What is that called? I'm trying to Google it. I'm looking at MLB contract lockout. Sure, I'll look that up. I'll see what happens. Oh, the collective bargaining agreement. I was thinking.
You were right with the acronym.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it runs through the 2026 season.
Okay.
And several changes, including the competitive balance tax, the threshold increase from 210 to 244, pre-salary arbitration bonus pool. I do remember hearing that. Minimum salary, the postseason format, the DH, the amateur draft. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah, so I wonder if that's something that this time in 2 years there won't be a contract. So I wonder if that's something that will be brought up. If imagine if Soto does go to the Dodgers, and I mean you got to believe that there's going to be 6 to 10 owners that are, already going to want to bring that up in 2 years. I mean, what do you think?
Oh, yeah. Honestly, I know it's not. I mean, we'll circle back to it. Just sidetrack moment of like 4 years ago when the Dodgers won in 2020, and everybody was calling it like a Mickey Mouse win. They're saying they're choke artists. It's just so funny to me that in like such a short time, it can go from that one extreme of whatever, win a real one, do whatever, to now they're buying wins, they're getting everybody, they're unstoppable. And I just think from like an outsider perspective, honestly, that's a really cool turnaround. But I really haven't put much thought into all the like the luxury tax or the CBA or any of that stuff. To me, it just kind of goes over my head with that stuff. I need to do a little more research into what all goes into that, but
did you see?
I just kind of put.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I just kind of put my faith into the Steve Cohen distribution fund that my team's not gonna have to worry about any type of taxes or whatever.
Yeah, I was watching a video and they were talking about the Dodgers and whatever free agents they might sign this offseason, the the amount of money every contract, if they sign, say they sign Soto just for examples because he's up on my computer screen right now. Say they sign him for 600 million or something. It was saying, well, this will really cost the Dodgers, 950 million or whatever, the number may have been because they're that high over the competitive the luxury tax, and because they've been over it for 3 straight years or whatever. And it was really interesting to see how they broke it down and just the amount of money that the Dodgers are kind of investing into the Japanese market that is helping them pay off the luxury tax that they're having to pay. I mean, it's kind of genius. I mean, when you have a higher percentage of people in Japan watching your games than you do in America, there's
and it's only going to get stronger if they officially post Sasaki. I mean, there is no way on earth he doesn't go to LA.
Yeah, there's especially with them needing a starting pitcher. It's not like they're just bolstering their rotation. It's hey, we really actually need a 23-year-old starting pitcher, who's been proven, on the world stage, played with Yamamoto and Shohei in the WBC.
And just from a financial standpoint too, he's going to cost them pennies because he's under 25, so he's going to go through the arbitration and everything. So it's not going to be like the big $300 million Yamamoto contract. This is going to be like, all right, we're going to pay you $750,000, and you're going to go out there and perform like the other two we got in the rotation.
Yeah, dude's going to be like 2023 Kodai Senga out there.
Hey, you leave the Ghost Fork in New York.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get off of Soto and let's pivot to some other free agents here. And I kind of teased I teased one move that I thought I wanted to get your thoughts on earlier. But you tell me what the Mets' plan B is if they don't get Juan Soto.
First would be cry. I think that would be first and foremost. I think Steve Cohen, if he doesn't get speaking of actually with Soto, did you see Lindor just landed in LA? He's going to meet with Cohen and Soto. He's actually there in person right now.
I did not see that. Is that Lindor's agent? Is that Cohen? Or is that
No,
Boris?
Cohen
Boris.
is in.
Sorry.
I don't know his age. It might be Boris. I honestly, off the top of my head, I'm not sure, but I know just being there, I didn't see like any of the other guys there at the moment. I didn't see Judge or anything going in. I don't know, obviously, how much of an impact that would have in the end, but I thought that was really cool that Lindor is at least coming in. But I think, if we don't get Soto, there's going to be a lot of tears, but I think Cohen's going to get very mad. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago, tried to get Steven Matz. Very, very small market. Little issue there, little hiccup when Matz ended up going to the Cardinals instead. And Cohen got so mad, he started using that screw you money that he has so much of, and he started buying just a ton of different guys. I think that if we don't get Soto, we're going to see that on a historic level. I think he's going to go out there and basically give unlimited contracts to Burns, to Fried, just go insane on the pitching. I think we're going to get Adames. I think we might even land Teoscar if that's something he's willing to go.
I was gonna bring
But
Teo up.
but I think it's just going to be like drunken sailor mode. Every single person that would have an interest in playing in New York will sign. But I don't know. I'm really hopeful. I think the only way Soto doesn't end up as I met is if he takes less money to go to the Yankees.
Yeah, but I don't know if he necessarily is driven by money.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, I know like you got to think how competitive he is. He's 26. He's one of the best players of all time. Do you think he could push it and try and get the highest AAV of all time? Try and get something a little higher than what that top number is now. Get something maybe just like kind of do what Lindor did. Do you remember at the time he got the highest contract ever was $300 million. They signed Lindor for 301. Maybe something like that with Soto. I genuinely could see Steve going, all right, I'll give you 701. And Soto just being like, okay, cool, I'll be the highest player all time.
How many years would that be? How many years would you envision that being if it was 700 mil? Is it going to be the 14? 15?
I could see him going. I could see him going to 14. I feel like 14. Throw a couple opt outs in at like towards the last few years. I could see that. I know. He's what? Yeah, he's 26.
26, yeah.
I could see 14. Honestly, I've heard some talk about it too. I don't think he'll do this at all. I in no way think this would be a possibility. But you could also kind of see what if he went like 3 years, 200 million, something just absurd.
And just to kind of play in his prime, somewhere. And
Yeah.
Be able to go somewhere and see how it works out.
And then do another 10-year deal.
I can't believe that teams are still willing to do absurdly long contracts like that. I mean, we kind of went from the Josh Hamilton, Albert Pujols mega contracts, from Anaheim 10 years ago. Those were both disasters. And then we went a few years and it seemed like we didn't get any long contracts like that. And then we have Bryce Harper signing in 2019 for a long contract. You have Tatis. You have how long is Trout's? Is Trout's long like that too?
Trout's was I mean he's got I think another 5 or 6 years left still.
I don't want to digress too much on Trout because I think we both have strong feelings on him. But I mean, how much longer do you honestly see him playing? I mean,
no, I was thinking about that today when I was looking over like what kind of teams need what and everything. And honestly, at this point, I would say if you're the Angels, you need a DH and you need to find a different center fielder. And you hope and you pray, but it kind of to me, and you're not gonna like this at all. Kind of to me, I'm getting hints of like end stage Joey Votto right now. of like, see, I know you're not liking it, but like, he wants to go out there, he wants to play.
Yeah.
His body's not letting him. Same with David Wright. Here, I'll make you feel better.
I mean, I'm looking at his stats. He played 119 games in 2022. Other than that, he hasn't played more than 130 games since 2019.
Yep.
I mean, if you take out 2022, which he was 8th in the MVP voting, he was an All-Star, Silver Slugger, and he had a 176 OPS plus. So, and he literally had a .999 OPS. So, by all means, an incredible season. But if you take out that year, since 2020, he's played, let's go quick math, he's played an even 200 games in 4 seasons. I mean,
50 games a year.
it's absolutely nuts.
Wow. Yikes. Okay, that's more David Wright territory than Votto then.
I mean, at least, I mean, Votto had what probably should have been an MVP season in 2017, and then played 6 more years. But I don't know if Trout is going to be able to put up 5 years.
I mean, he comes back. They gotta DH him. He can't see the field again.
Yeah, I want to see how many games he played the past 2 seasons in DH. Let's see. He played 79 games in 2023 in the outfield, so only 2 as a DH and 1 as a pinch hitter.
We got to think Ohtani was there.
Yeah. And then this year he played 29 games, 24 of them in the outfield and 5 as DH. Without Shohei. So who was DHing in those days?
Was it Rendon during the 4 games he was active?
During the one game he was fighting in Oakland?
God, talk about a bad contract. That's going to go down as the worst contract ever.
Yeah. That's an absolutely awful. I don't understand why he signs a long contract if he doesn't love baseball like that.
I remember when he was with the Nationals hearing something about him wanting to retire as quickly as he could because he was done playing. Like I vividly I remember that interview. And I remember thinking like why are you even doing this if that's not like, if you don't even find it tolerable.
So I just clicked on a random April game for the Angels from this past season, and Yankees and Twins and Orioles legend Aaron Hicks was DHing on this game that I clicked on. So he and I don't know how many games he played, but he had, let's see here. He had 18 games this season, and he had 8 hits for a 140 average, and he had a 20 OPS plus.
I mean, that had to be slightly better than his last year in New York, though. So
yeah, I think that might have been better than him and Joey Gallo's last season in New York.
Okay, when he got traded, I can't remember what year that was. He got traded, DFA'd, and then moved to Baltimore. And he started tearing it up. I thought that was going to be a turnaround, and then he's like, "No, I've decided to not go back to being a good player."
Yeah, he went from a 45 OPS plus with the Yankees that year to a 127 with the Orioles.
Yeah,
and triple the amount of plate appearances. It's not like it was, short sample size. He had 236 plate appearances, 200 at bats in Baltimore. That's a third of a season.
Oh yeah,
And yeah, 65 games. Yeah. Yeah.
kind of like Jerks and Profar in San Diego. Have you seen the splits on that?
You mean um, 2012 top prospect Jerks and Profar? Is that who you're talking about?
Oh yeah, Rangers legend, baby. I uh I saw it the other day. I actually think it was Jolly Olive. He was talking about it. Look up Jerkson Profar as a career with the Padres and then without the Padres. It is absurd. He's two completely different people.
Okay,
Again,
so
not that big of a sample size with San Diego, but it went from 2023 into 2024. So it's as consistent as you could be.
okay, so I thought I could just go to entire career, but he is. Let's see. Let's do this the hard way. He is a career. He's a career 245 hitter, and in 2023 with the Padres in 2024, it looks like he's 280 and 295 for a career 245 hitter with a 98 OPS plus in his career and 134 with the Padres. That makes no sense. I mean,
he literally they like I don't know what they unlocked something in him. I don't know if they gave him some sort of confidence, but it is like two completely different people. And I think because of that, I think that would probably be the easiest lock this entire free agency to see a Jerkson Profar resign.
Yeah, that's what they were saying. Is those kind of guys who play better for one team. It's like Jesse Chavez with the Braves. I mean,
Yeah.
he's meaningless to other teams.
Or like to me, it was Charlie Morton too. I don't know what it is with that dude. These stupid Braves, man. Which hallelujah. Circle back to the beginning. Travis d'Arnaud gone out of the division. You can lock down +2 wins next year for the Mets right now. Whatever we're gonna do, 2 games more.
I was listening to someone talk about free agency today, and they were joking about the Braves were going to sign someone, a couple big names, and they were going to donate so many $1 million to the Braves Foundation. Yeah, I mean, let's see, Charlie Morton. Gosh, I didn't realize he spent that long in Atlanta. He spent 4 seasons in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And he was a 110 ERA plus. Wow.
Going back to what Josiah said about the salary cap, that'd be one way you get around it, though, too, is going full Braves. Just as soon as they get any resemblance of they're going to be good, lock them down to like a 9-year deal worth $4 a day. And
yeah. Giving 1% of their salary to the Braves Foundation. Yeah. So I'm looking at this article here. It's talking about Mets Plan B if they don't get Soto. So I heard. God, what's his agent's name? Boris. I heard Boris talking about Pete's market. So, do you think it would be advantageous for Pete to try and get a deal done, whether it be with the Mets or without? What do you think is going on there? Let's start there.
There is a reason I didn't include him in the Soto Plan B. I think regardless, I think Pete's going to go test out, see what his options are. Yeah. I think he's going to have fun. He's just going to have a nice winter, look at his whatever, and I think come February he's going to be back in the blue and orange. I think regardless, I truly don't see him not a Met unless the Mets just don't offer him a contract.
Do you think it's like
Because
a Freddie Freeman Braves type situation?
yes, I think that if in the only way Alonso doesn't come back is if we never give him an offer.
Yeah.
He loves New York. He's never said a bad word about the Mets. He's so close to those home run records too. I think that would bring in guys. I know Stearns isn't the most outwardly sentimental fella when it comes to getting deals done and everything, but
Yeah.
I feel like Pete's bat. He's going to give you 40 home runs. He's going to give you that nice protection for whoever's hitting in front of him. Even if he's not as hot, he's still going to be that threat anytime he can get a home run. But I don't know if it's because he's been my guy and I'm not going to let him go, but I just don't see him somewhere else.
Yeah. Um, that would be crazy to see him somewhere else.
If he does, I feel like it'll be Seattle. I just because they need hitters, they need something other than Julio. They
Especially with Julio and just the team overall coming off such a down year, such a disappointing year.
yeah,
Where
and I mean I could.
their pitching was incredible. That was not the issue at all.
Yeah, they need everybody but a shortstop at the moment. I think J.P. Crawford's the only one that's remotely safe.
Cal Raleigh.
Oh
Um.
yeah.
Okay, so I actually heard this the past couple days is talking about Nolan Arenado. That the Cardinals obviously want to move off of him, see what the trade interest, see what the trade market is like. And I heard a couple different reports saying that they could sign a third baseman, whoever it be, and then move Vientos over to first. What do you think about that?
I don't like it. I think Vientos had such a breakout end of 2024 that postseason is going to go down into the legends of Citi Field for that 2024 performance. I think it would be a disservice to him to immediately kick him out of the position that he fought so hard to earn. I mean, he beat out Brett Beatty. They gave Beatty every single chance, every single time Vientos proved himself to earn it back, to get in that position back. And I think it would be such a screw you to Vientos to move him out. I think that the better option would be whoever you would move to third, put him at second instead, or put him at DH. Because Mets need a first base, they need a second baseman. As much as I love Acuna, I don't know that he's ready for an everyday starting gig. I think they need a first baseman and they need a DH.
Aren't you forgetting you guys have a second baseman?
Okay, no, we do not.
I remember a guy who used to play second base who won a batting title for the Mets.
Yeah. I don't know where that guy went. If that guy comes back, I'm more than happy. But that guy, I don't even want to address by name. That he and his lovely attitude need to be somewhere other than second base come opening day. And that is all I have to say about that.
So did I hear you say earlier that you wanted Brett Beatty at third base? Is that what I heard?
No, I was saying that originally. Oh, are you messing with me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do. Speaking of Beatty, because he's awesome. He's gonna be awesome. I think they package him up, possibly with Jeff McNeil, just throwing a name out there, and send them over to Chicago and get Luis Robert and or Garrett Crochet. I don't care what we would have to do for that package. If we get both, I am here for it. I think send Acuna, send McNeil, send Beatty, send our little guys. get some established power bat and amazing starting pitcher, would make getting Corbin Burns a lot more satisfactory as well. If you can't tell, I'm fully biased into 2024, 2025 being the offseason of the Mets that's going to go down as the greatest of all time.
I don't want to anger you at all, but I did watch an interview between Dave Roberts and Mookie Betts. And have you seen it?
I saw the only clip I saw of it was when they said Padres was their World Series, but
Oh. Let me see if I can find the clip where I left off. And I think you'll want to hear this. I watched it, I believe, yesterday. Let's see. Let's see if I can find this. This was a good clip. I thought of you immediately. I'm sorry. Also, I watched. I listened to part of the podcast between Freddie Freeman and the Kelsey brothers, and it was really cool to hear Freddie talk about that. And he was talking about how, he obviously like wanted to party the whole night after they won the World Series, and they had a flight since it was scheduled travel day. They had a flight at like 3 a.m, and he said everyone was so tired by the time the flight started, and he said he fell asleep right as they got on the flight. He said he woke up like an hour or two into the flight, and everyone else was asleep. And then he was talking about how it was Halloween the day when they got back to LA, and he said he had to get his kids' Halloween costumes ready. Like he didn't have time to really celebrate. Let me see
wild.
I agree, and I do. Like I said, I do think it's
Let me
going
see
to be
if I can
hard,
find
but
this clip.
very doable. So we'll see.
What
I remember when-
anti-Mets slander are you going to be hawking over at me here?
Oh, that's what I'm getting at here.
Best team.
100%.
And when you play
I don't know if I'll be able to find it because it was just a quick one-off. I'm trying to see if anyone commented the timestamp. I don't think I'm gonna be able to find it, but so they're talking about the Mets. I'm gonna play it while I'm talking.
team as much as we
And
those guys, the novelty,
Dave
the
Roberts
all factor, that was all
calls
gone. They were no longer
Grimace
afraid of us.
the
We're
Gremlin.
familiar. They beat us up in the regular season.
He's
So,
like, yeah, the
they
Mets
were
had that
hungry.
Gremlin
They
thing
hadn't won a
going on.
championship. So I felt that
And
that was going to be our biggest challenge, especially in a short series.
I mean, I stopped
And
and
so
like
when we
at
got
work
down
and had to like
2-1,
chuckle and then keep
And
going.
we had already gotten put out the last 2 years, so that was
Man,
already
you need to
way
put
right.
some
That
respect
was
on Grimace's name, man.
Like,
That was
I think that when
the
we
heart
went in
and
there
soul
2
of that
years
run,
ago,
and
I
I
think
won't
that
have
there
it
was
slandered by
it
any
was mayhem. It was
gizmo
most teams feed off
accusations.
the home crowd. You and I had talked about that.
that was a bullpen game.
Things is a street fight, and they try to intimidate. And that was my ass drop.
Graham, we'll revisit later.
What my daughter told me the other day.
I can't find it, but it was a really cool podcast to listen to. I'd never listened to Dave Roberts talk, outside of him talking to the media, and I didn't know that him and Aaron Boone were friends off the field. Apparently, one of them went to USC and one of them went to UCLA.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and then so he said, obviously they played in college, and then they played against each other, in 2003, 2004 when Dave Roberts stole the base and helped him win the World Series.
Still need to watch that doc on Netflix.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Okay, let's pull something up. I'm gonna share my screen here. Let's do this. I did not plan on doing this, but I think this will be fun. All right. Can you see that? I can zoom in a little better.
I'm not seeing anything at the moment.
Okay.
Wait. Yeah, okay. I was waiting for it. Not gonna lie, I was waiting for it.
All right. So, for any of those of you who are watching and don't know, this is the Immaculate Grid. number 590. We're gonna hear some real sicko answers here. Where do you want to start here? Can you see the teams? Okay.
I think I lost you for a second there.
You're.
Yeah. No, I got it. Sorry, I think
Okay.
I lost you there for a second.
Yeah, your video's a little laggy, but I think you're good now. All right, so.
All right.
Rockies Giants. Chris Bryant comes to mind. I'm sure there's a lot better answers than
Okay,
that.
but that's like, I mean, are we going for like quickness, or are we going for like a good answer here?
Yeah, let's hear your good answers here.
Okay, because first thing that comes to mind is we're going Rockies Giants. We said.
Yeah, let's look at that one. Get that NL West out of the way.
God, who was that guy? The did Okay, first actually here I want to do before we do teams because I'm sicko. I like to know how low I can go. The
Okay.
hard ones first. The 30 stolen bases.
Okay.
Just to know, like, are we gonna go for like, are we trying to go for like some super low thing, or are we screwed from the start? Because if we end up with like a combined 2 on these teams, and then get like a 30, I'm gonna be infuriated. So I need to know what we're working with before I start getting down into the trenches here. But 30 stolen bases off the top of my head. D. Gordon for the Mariners.
For the
Did he
Mariners.
get 30?
You want me to try it?
Do you think? I mean, I feel like he had to have gotten 30.
How long did he play in Seattle?
But yeah, it was a couple years, I think. I mean, because he was a solid second baseman after.
Yeah, he kind of bounced around there in the beginning part of his career.
Because I know he was with the Dodgers, obviously killed it enough to. That was where he kind of started.
Yeah.
Part of me wanted to save Chone Figgins for the Angels Mariners, but I also feel like he definitely had a 30 stolen base season.
Yeah.
But
That's the problem
what
I
are you
have
thinking?
sometimes is I'll use a player for one category and then I'm like, oh, I could have used him easier for a different one.
Mm-hmm. I feel like so. I mean, D. Gordon always stole bases. I feel like he had to have gotten at least 30
All right,
for
let's see.
Seattle. Like maybe 2018.
Let's
Like
see it.
I feel like he had to.
I'm gonna click it.
All right, let's do it.
2%.
All right. I'm not mad about that for a stolen base one.
Okay.
Rockies, Jose Reyes also comes to mind. I don't know if he got 30. Do you remember he played like 1, maybe 2 years in Colorado before he was traded? I think it was 2015. He was in Colorado. I don't know if he got to 30 stolen bases though, because I know he was traded for Tulo.
Yeah.
He's just another speedy guy.
Yeah.
But what are you thinking? I feel like we can go every other here unless you want to. I've already got some sick pools for the teams. I feel like I need to let you contribute some more on the.
Goodness gracious. I mean, I'm having a hard time thinking about Rockies players. This is the trouble.
Yeah, I
I
know.
run
Isn't that the
into.
worst? Like, name 5 Rockies players in general.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know, dude. Let's hear what you got.
I know. Okay, so like, technically speaking, did Jose Reyes play long enough in Colorado to get 30? Did he even have 30 in 2015?
He played after the Mets. He went to Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was 2015 was when him and Tulo got traded for each other.
So, I mean, how many stolen bases did he have consistently in New York?
A ton. I mean, the dude would get like crank 60s.
Yeah. Well, let's try it.
Wait, no, hold on. I'm having hesitations on it. What if we went Charlie Blackmon?
Chuck Nasty. Let's see it.
Yeah, I feel like he had a season in him.
Let's see.
Oh. Apparently 31% of the people also thought he had a nice season in him.
Well, how many
Good
other
God.
Rockies can we name? I mean,
No, right. I mean, I was thinking Cargo, but there's no way he was fast enough consistently.
dude's not even an active
Maybe
Rocky anymore, and 31% of the people.
that's awful. I
Cubs,
couldn't tell you the last time I got above. Oh man.
Cubs,
Okay.
31 or 30 stolen bases. Immediately, I went to Alfonso Soriano, but I don't know how many years he played in Chicago. I don't know if he was still a speed
yeah.
threat then.
What about Angel Pagan? I know he started. Did he ever get a 30?
Oh,
Trying to
gosh.
think. Or no. Yeah, he started in Chicago, didn't he?
What about John Jay? You think John Jay played there long enough? Or do you think Albert Almora? Let's go 2016 Cubs. You think
Okay.
Addison Russell, Albert Almora? You think Javi? I don't know if Javi ever had 30 stolen bases.
I feel like Albert Almora has like 8 stolen bases total.
Yeah, I feel like he's probably not a.
I
You think he's not a quick
yeah.
center fielder?
Yeah, no, I know for a fact as a former Met for like 4.5 days. That was just downright awful.
Okay.
I know Javi had a 20 game or 20 stolen base. I don't know if
Addison Russell, other 2016 Cubs, Ben Zobrist. I don't know if they were really stealing bases back in 2016.
what about Jason Hayward? Thinking.
Dexter Fowler. What do you think?
Dexter Fowler would have to be
Hitting leadoff?
no. Sosa. If we're going 30s, I feel like Sosa had to have gotten. Don't you think? If we already got a 30%, we might as well just go for completion on the stolen base side.
All right. 18%. That's good.
Okay. Give me Chone Figgins, bottom middle.
This one?
Yeah.
Shane
I swear
Figgins.
to Christ. 24%?
I was stunned.
I didn't know that more than 8 people on Earth knew who Chone Figgins was. I thought that was like a.
He's probably just a
what?
meme that like so many people know about now that you know.
You know what? At this point, let's go for high. Let's just do it. Let's just
Okay.
go for how high of a score can we get.
Okay.
Top left, obviously, go Bryant. Bottom left, Randy Johnson.
Okay.
This is hurting my soul.
Who would your guess have been for bottom left?
Oh, bottom left, I'd have gone stupid outfielder. His name.
Isn't there a guy that just played for him? Both of them like 2 years ago and came back to Seattle? Mitch Haniger. Is it Mitch Haniger?
Oh yeah.
Did he played in San Francisco? Yeah.
Why did Jock Peterson? No, Mitch Haniger definitely did.
Okay.
Did Jock Peterson ever play for Seattle?
No. He's Arizona.
I knew he's gone through like the NL West. I didn't know if he had gone to
San Francisco, Arizona, the Dodgers. Okay, so Rockies, Angels. Where are we going here?
Daniel. Oh no, he didn't. I was gonna go Daniel Murphy. That was gonna be a sick pool, but he never actually made it in there.
There's got to be some bum pitcher that both teams thought they could fix.
Ubaldo Jimenez, Irvin Santana. I feel like Ubaldo didn't play for Angels though. I always want to put Will Ferrell down because, like, do you remember that? It's like 2015.
Yeah. I'm thinking of like I'm trying to think of like 2013's Angels, like Howie Kendrick, Alberto Callaspo, C.J. Wilson, Jared Weaver. Like, did any of those guys ever make a pit stop in Colorado? I mean, I'm having trouble with this.
I just thought of my Mariners Giants guy. By the way, it was Austin Jackson, Tigers
Okay.
legend.
Yeah. Okay.
That would have been
Indians
my.
legend too. I've seen he was part of the Lindor game.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was the one who scored the winning run.
You know what? Did Jonathan Lucroy? I feel like he definitely played for both.
Yeah. I know he played for the
It was like
Rockies.
LaTroy Hawkins if he wanted to go beat down pitcher.
1%, hell yeah. They actually, speaking of Austin Jackson, that same year, 2017, is when they wanted to trade him to the Indians, and he exerted his non-trade clause and wanted to go to the Rockies instead. And then shortly after, he came to Cleveland, and they booed the heck out of him. It's kind of fun. Okay. Angels,
You want to see
Cubs?
something nasty?
Yeah.
You want to see something nasty? I feel like Jake Marisnick is going to have about 2 people on here.
For
What do you
Angels,
think? And
for
do you?
Angels,
Yeah,
Cubs?
Angels Cubs. Yeah.
I remember
You're
when
not trusting me?
Cubs. Nope.
What? He was definitely on the Angels. I'm looking this up.
What team didn't he play for? Here, I got it.
Give me a second.
He never played for the Angels.
Are you shitting me? Go to his freaking MLB page right now. Go to look.
Hold on, I'm looking at his transactions. He was a free agent. He was signed as a free agent with the LA Angels December 13th of last year, and he's granted free agency last week.
That pisses me off. I thought we were getting down and dirty with that for sure.
So did he play in the minors or?
Maybe it was just because he signed. I remembered him signing. I guess I assumed he then played because he signed. But
I'm gonna look up his minor league stats and see what he did this year. That is not what I thought Jake Marisnick looked like. Okay, that's what I thought he looked like.
yeah,
Let's see.
the long-haired borderline surfer dude.
You're telling me he played 59 games in the minor leagues between two levels? You're telling me he was too bad to be on?
Or the Angels.
Yeah.
I thought that was going to be a sick pull. That would have been such a good pull.
You're telling me he wasn't good enough to be on a team that finished 63 and 99? Seriously?
That irritates me. I 100%. Because I vividly remember seeing the signing Instagram post that Jake Marisnick signed with the Angels.
I mean, this is how pathetic of a franchise the Angels are. Angelton Simmons is the 24th best player by WAR in franchise history. I mean, Eric Ibar. There's a name you haven't heard in a while.
Oh yeah, dude. Okay, I remember he had his baseball card. There was that was one of the early memories I have of collecting was Eric Ibar. It was like the 2012 Topps card.
Yeah. Yeah. When my dad and I would play MLB The Show, I'd be the A's and he'd be the Angels. And 2013, 2012, Eric Ibar. Hell yeah. 290.
Who's the
2012. All right.
who's the red? Oh, Zach Cozart. I remember. He like didn't he get like a donkey
Yeah.
from Joey
yeah.
Votto?
Yeah, for the All-Star game. What was the name of it? It wasn't Nibbles. That was his horse. That Cozart donkey. 2017, he got the donkey. They named him Donald Duck. Man, Zach Blozart. That's terrible. Yeah. Okay. We got one spot to fill.
I mean, my instant thought, like just for an easy answer, was obviously Chris Bryant again.
Yeah.
But Gerardo Parra, I know for sure. But I feel like that'd be a big one. Didn't one of the
I remember him as a Diamondback. I didn't know he played for both those teams.
no Giants.
What?
Giants,
He played
Rockies.
He played for the Giants and Rockies both?
Yeah.
I remember him as a Diamondback. That's crazy.
Sorry, I thought you said you didn't remember him as a Diamondback, and I was like, well, it's not even one of the options at the moment. Okay. We're not going to put him in. I mean, you can put in Jordan Parra if you want. Tyler Colvin. I remember the name. I don't know if it would apply. I feel like that might be Rockies Cubs, but I don't know why. Just looking at this grid made me think of the name Tyler Colvin. But we need to look him up afterward.
I've heard the name. I'm going to put in Parra. Manny Parra, man. I'm just going to exit out of that
we got
score.
it.
I don't want you to see that.
What'd I get?
This was the hardest one. 30 stolen bases. Only 11.
Let's say 11.
Brenton Doyle, Willie Tavares. Okay. Juan Pierre, Larry Walker, Dante
Kazuo
Bichette.
Matsui, Matt's legend. Eric Young. I don't know why I didn't think about Eric Young.
This one was 17, so let's see who's done this. Ichiro a bunch of times. Julio Cruz a bunch of times. Oh, Harold Reynolds, that would have been a good answer. A-Rod,
That would have been.
Ricky Henderson didn't know he played in Seattle.
Ricky Henderson played for just about every single team.
Oh, Chone Figgins there, buddy.
How? I feel like that set us up for failure. Was that 24%? I don't understand.
Gordon. Let's see who the CJ Crone. Okay. Chone Figgins was the highest answer for this.
That's unbelievable.
Unfreaking believable. Okay, I'm looking up Tyler
Colvin.
doesn't even show up in the. There we go. Cubs.
I knew
Giants,
he had Cub.
Rockies. A career.
I knew it. Go back, do like an incognito tab or something. I want to see what kind of percentage Tyler Colvin would have got us. I can I'll look it up on my phone real quick. Tyler Colvin would have gotten you 0.2%.
Wow. Shocked that many people will know him.
Yeah.
Let's see. What did... Damn. I don't know who won. Sorry. Let's get off of that. Gerardo Parra. I don't know who won the basketball game I was watching. Okay. Anyways, let me stop this stream. Alright. So, is there anything you want to talk about that we missed? Any free agency?
I mean, did we actually officially fully go over Soto? Or did we just kind of, you let me say that if he doesn't, I'm going on strike? And
we just kind of said his name.
Never.
I think,
where do you think he's going?
I really don't want to see him in Dodger blue. I like that they have spent money, and I like they got their World Series, but I don't want to. I don't want to see him there. I want to see him somewhere else. Um, maybe that's selfish of me. I don't know.
No, I fully agree. I just it wouldn't look right. It to me would feel too much of like, all right, what's going on here? Somebody needs to stop these guys. And like, I know you can go out there and field your all-star team, but that might not mean it'll translate. But like,
Do you think,
I don't want to actually see the MLB The Show franchise all-star team coming out there in real life.
where you veto trades? I mean,
Yeah.
you have. I mean, you would have Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Juan Soto, Shohei Ohtani, Tyler Glasnow, Walker Bueller, all these guys. That's how many All Stars could you have on one team? It's like, I mean, that's the big blue machine. That's
Right.
Do you think that also that would tarnish Juan Soto's legacy if he went there, especially after getting beat by them in the World Series?
I don't know, because I've thought about that before too, and like, you think about. I couldn't do it with a straight face. I was going to compare to Nori Aoki in 2014, lost against the Giants. 2015, he
Was it Royal?
no, sorry, yeah, he went Royal Giant.
Yeah,
but no,
Nori Aoki is the only of all the MLB games that I've been to. That's who hit my dad and I a foul ball in 2012. The rich guy.
All right, yeah. I didn't even know. I had never heard of that dude before, and then like 2 year span, it was just that was like the only thing I was hearing was that guy. But I don't know. I feel like to me it would feel like a Pujols to the Angels situation, where no, I know it wouldn't be comparable, but like the feeling as a fan of like. I felt let down by Pujols, even though I was not even remotely close to a Cardinals fan.
Yeah.
I felt let down that he went to the Angels. Like, it was, oh, really? Like,
Yeah.
the Angels?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what it would be with Juan Soto.
Yeah.
Like, I would prefer Soto back as a Yankee or even going to the Red Sox than to the Dodgers.
I think that this is just a thought that popped into my head. I'm going to hash this out with you. And obviously, you're not as big into watching other sports, like the NFL, which is what I'm going to end up comparing this thought to. I think it's really hard in baseball to keep up on West Coast teams on the East Coast because in football, if you play on the West Coast, like the Rams, for example, if you play on the West Coast, you still play a lot of 425 Sunday games. You had a primetime game yesterday. And so as an East Coaster, Midwesterner, even if I want to watch these teams on the West Coast, all I have to do is just keep watching TV after the Bills play at 1 o'clock, and usually there's only 3 or 4 or 5 games going on at 425. So there's a good shot that, on the national stage, you're going to be able to see the Rams, a West Coast team, But in baseball, if you want to watch a West Coast team, the game's not starting until 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock, baby.
And, I mean, there might be, just because there's more games in baseball, that, there might technically be more options, more opportunities to watch a West Coast team play, in the Midwest or play on the East Coast. But I think that overall it's just harder to keep up with someone who goes, especially, like a Pujols who played, in the Midwest, or, like Soto, he went from, the Nationals to San Diego. And I just think it's a lot harder to keep up as someone who lives on this side of the country with people who live on the East Coast.
And, 100%. When Soto went to the Padres, I mean, I get he did have a little bit of a down year. Down year for Soto was still a great year, but he had a little bit of a down year, and I don't know if it was just because of that or because it was West Coast. But I don't really remember hearing that much about Juan Soto the Padre.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It just kind of feels like a blip in time, honestly.
Yeah, and it's just like, unless you are the Dodgers, you don't really get a lot of West Coast sports coverage from where we're at.
Yeah.
Like, even like Blake Snell, I didn't realize he had a pretty good end of his season. I mean, I know he threw the no-hitter, but until I looked at the stats, I didn't realize that. What?
I don't remember a no-hitter.
There you go. Yeah, he had a no-hitter.
No, he definitely did not throw a no-hitter. Definitely did not come into Cincinnati and throw a no-hitter.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I don't remember that one either. Then
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it helps that the Mariners have been not good for a long time. The A's and Angels have not been relevant for more than a season at a time in years. I mean, you had the A's in 2020 and like 20. I guess it was maybe 2019, 2018. I don't know. Yeah,
that was Ramon Laureano led them to just above mediocrity.
Yeah. So I guess that's not doing the West Coast teams any justice. And then you have the Padres, who kind of swung and missed like 9 years ago.
They need to do something this offseason, I feel like, to try and get out of the Dodgers' shadow.
Yeah.
Just because that's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
But
I think that
speaking of, oh, sorry, what?
I think that them signing a frontline starter would really help. You have Musgrove and Cease, but I know they both had.
You'd imagine if they had Blake Snell too. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Yeah, it would be. Dude, imagine if Sonny Gray, Trevor Bauer, and Luis Castillo were all in the same rotation, in their prime too.
And imagine if it was like, I don't know, random, like Cincinnati.
Yeah,
that'd be wild. And like Nick Castellanos.
Yeah, and like All-Star Jesse Winker.
Yeah, I mean, that would be wild. They would have to have done something about that.
Crazy.
That it would contribute towards success, and like. Yeah, that'd be wild if they didn't. I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd still probably finish like 9 games under or something. I actually don't know what they finished that year. I'm scared to look. 2021 Redlegs. Oh, so they did finish 4 games over. How many games did they finish behind? Let's see here. They finished. They had a 1-game lead on April 18th. They were 14.5 back on Sunday, September 19th. And they finished 12 games back of the first place Brewers, Cardinals, Cubs. Who won?
I feel like it was the Brewers, right? Was it? No. Was it the Cardinals?
Let's see here. It was.
I honestly couldn't tell you the last time I gave more than two thoughts to a NL Central. If I'm going to be totally honest with you, that is the one division I pay just zero attention to. And I know you're going to love hearing that, but
the Milwaukee Brewers finished 95 and 67 that year.
Okay.
What did they lose to then? Oh wait, I just had it. They lost. That's the year that the Braves beat them. The Braves won the chip.
Oh yeah, because Mets broke the curse. Every team to beat the Brewers in the postseason made it to the World Series.
That's the good kind of history, kids.
Yeah, I'm happy that we were the different one there.
All right, bro. Well, I think that probably about wraps us up. We have been on stream for a whopping hour and 15 minutes. Yuckin'
Yeah, felt like it's been a lot of yapping going on.
A lot of yapping. But honestly, dude, it's nice talking ball. We're gonna have to get back on here once some dominoes do start falling, especially in about a month. I'm sure the winter meetings are probably second week of December, like they usually are. So, yeah, man, that's everything we got for you guys tonight. That was us yucking some baseball in the middle of all of our football and wrestling content on here on J&J in the evening. So if you haven't already, give us some comments down below where you think Juan Soto and other top free agents are going. What do you want to see your favorite team do? Give us a like, maybe hit that subscribe button. And